Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Ibrahim Traoré's era. What you're about to hear is no rumor, no fiction. It's an official account from Mali's own government, and it has sent shockwaves through the entire Sahel. Late last Wednesday, under the cover of night, armed military operatives moved into position. Their mission was to overthrow General Assimi Goïta, one of the loudest and most unyielding voices against foreign dominance in West Africa. This wasn't a case of random unrest. According to a report from the Associated Press this week, Malian authorities confirmed that security forces had staged a counter-coup before it could even happen. And here's the detail that fuels outrage. The government says the plot wasn't entirely homegrown. There was backing from a Western power, whose name remains officially withheld. Pause and think about that. Which Western powers have actively pushed against Assimi Goïta, Traoré of Burkina Faso and Niger's Tiani since the Alliance of Sahel States (AES) came into being? Which governments have poured millions into aid and security missions in West Africa while quietly trying to preserve control over its resources and military access? The scent of desperation is hard to ignore. This is how the coup attempt began. The first signs came as rumors in Bamako, movements of unmarked vehicles, reports of unfamiliar soldiers blending into Malian security units. Soon after, strange disruptions hit parts of the capital's communications network, as though someone were testing ways to cut the state's reach. The plan was to strike in darkness, seize the presidency, and announce a new government before morning. But the coup plotters miscalculated. Goïta's intelligence apparatus, on constant alert since Mali distanced itself from France and moved closer to Russia, had eyes on them. And his elite guard, fiercely loyal and fully aware of the stakes, was ready. Malian soldiers picked the intelligence and swiftly prepared to prevent the coup from happening. By 10 p.m., the soldiers flooded checkpoints across Bamako. Vehicles were searched, and armed patrols swept through known safe houses. Through this, dozens of suspects were identified and arrested before the coup could ignite. Insiders say some detainees admitted they were awaiting orders from contacts outside Mali. That detail alone suggests an operation with cross-border coordination. By morning, the Malian government went public to announce that the coup had failed. In a sharp warning, they declared, "There are forces beyond our borders who wish to see us fractured. Unable to face us openly, they send shadows into our night. But we see them, and we are prepared." That day, Bamako streets pulsed with both tension and patriotism. Flags waved, music played, and ordinary citizens voiced unwavering support for Goïta. Across the markets and cafes, one sentiment dominated: the West is frustrated because Mali refuses to bow. Make no mistake, this isn't just about Mali. It's about the AES as a whole. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, united in expelling foreign military presence, reclaiming their resources, and building an African-led defense system. Every destabilization attempt against one member is an attack on the alliance, and Western powers know, if the AES stands strong, it could inspire the rest of the continent to finally break free from long-standing dependency. This is the oldest play in the neo-colonial handbook: stir chaos, install pliant leaders, and control the global narrative. But Mali has studied history's mistakes. This time the scheme failed. Instead of weakening Goïta, the attempt strengthened him. It handed him the moral authority to tighten security, bolster the army, and deepen ties with partners who respect Mali's independence. And it reminded the public, if they fight this hard to remove him, he must be doing something right. Shadow wars like this are the new face of intervention. Open invasions are costly and politically risky, so influence is bought in quieter ways: cash payments, overseas assets, foreign training programs that come with invisible strings. When the time comes, these assets are activated. Once the network is in place, the media machine kicks in. Suddenly, foreign headlines frame the target leader as corrupt or unstable, priming the world for regime change and softening local resistance. Sometimes a diversion is created to pull the leader's attention elsewhere: a border flare-up, a terrorist incident, unrest in a neighbor's territory. With eyes turned away, the coup team moves in. This time, it didn't work. Since taking charge, Goïta has dismantled much of the foreign influence inside Mali's forces, replacing compromised commanders, shifting intelligence to trusted networks, and fostering a culture of patriotism in the ranks. The AES itself adds another layer of protection. If one member is targeted, the others step in. Had Mali fallen, Niger and Burkina Faso would likely have been next, collapsing the alliance and returning the Sahel to the grip of foreign-backed rulers. Following the failed coup, Bamako boosted border controls, increased scrutiny on foreign NGOs, and intensified background checks on military officers. AES intelligence sharing is now tighter than ever, meaning Burkina Faso and Niger have more visibility on threats to Mali, and vice versa. This is the West's new challenge. They're no longer dealing with isolated leaders. They're facing a united African front, something they've never truly confronted before. When the dust settled, Malian forces had neutralized the last coup cells within hours, arresting senior officers secretly in touch with foreign advisors. Their plan had been to seize key military posts, storm the presidential palace, and declare a transition council friendly to Western interests. They didn't expect readiness. They didn't expect the people to rally. They didn't expect an army whose loyalty could not be bought. They misread everything. For months, Goïta's counterintelligence had been tracking suspicious funds, encrypted chatter, and unusual visits from foreign operatives. On the night of the coup, special forces were already deployed in strategic positions. The capital was sealed before the conspirators could move. The next morning, Goïta didn't hide in a bunker. He addressed the nation from an open rally, declaring, "We know you. We know who sent you. Let this be the last time you mistake Mali for your playground. Our sovereignty is not for sale." Cheers erupted. Flags filled the air. Malians saw their leaders speaking not only for them, but for every African nation tired of being treated like a pawn on a colonial chessboard. Burkina Faso's Traoré sent a public warning. Any attack on Mali is an attack on the entire AES. Niger echoed the same, pledging joint patrols and intelligence support. The message: destabilize one, face all three. Security was tightened further. New surveillance points, reinforced borders, and military exercises with Burkina Faso and Niger planned within weeks. The AES was now more than words. It was an active shield. Even beyond the military, civilians became watchmen. Neighborhoods reported unusual activity. Radio stations called for vigilance, and community leaders pledged their loyalty. The army and the people had become one. What was meant to be the end of Goïta's leadership instead crowned him as the symbol of Malian defiance, and it delivered a warning to those believed to be behind the plot. Africa's new wave of leaders cannot be bought, bullied, or removed through orchestrated unrest. From Bamako to Ouagadougou to Niamey, the lesson is clear. The era of easy coups and foreign-installed regimes is over. Mali's example proves that with unity, vigilance, and the will to resist, even resource-rich nations targeted for exploitation can protect themselves. Goïta's message resonates far beyond Mali's borders. The AES will not bow, and Africa's new generation of leaders will not vanish quietly into the night. This time the people are alert. This time the leaders are prepared. And this time history will record that Africa chose to stand its ground. This is Ibrahim Traoré's era. Like and subscribe.